Yeah, I know it's been a while, but I've had to pick up a few extra shifts. I'm just setting everything up, and hopefully someone will join. I'm just waiting for all of you guys. So I'm hoping you're all well, and please let me know if you're here. Type a comment or anything. Let's see. James, hi. Well, hi, James. Happy to have you here. And today we'll be discussing Asian horror movies since that was the theme for my YouTube channel last month. But unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to do a proper live stream 2 weeks ago because of work. So I will also be showing you the Arrow movies that I finally got. I didn't get all of them, unfortunately, but most of them. So I will also be showing you that. So Yon Delicious, well, hi! Happy to have you here. Going to drink some tea. So as usual, just finished work, just got home, made myself some tea, and just relaxed. Okay, and of course you can discuss any Asian horror movie that you want to. Which ones are your favorites? Please let us all know. Movie Collector Geek. Hi Sarah, one of my favorites is Audition. Audition is a great one. I reviewed that one last year actually when I had my Valentine's theme. Because that movie's, pretty romantic in a weird way. But yeah, Audition is great. And Takashi Miike is definitely one of my favorite directors. But yeah, I will start with showing you the Arrow movies that I received. Okay. So I received this gorgeous box set of the Female Prisoner Scorpion collection. So 4 movies, and this Friday, the weekend, me and Jasmine, we watched all of these back to back. So we just watched all of them in one go. And on our YouTube channel, Bitches of Horror, we will review all of these movies. Yes. So we recorded the reviews and we will be releasing them. Don't know exactly when, but hopefully as soon as possible. So you can go over to Bitches of Horror and subscribe because we will finally be back after taking a break for almost 2 years. Yeah. So 4 movies. I can show you the covers. This is the first one. First one is just called Female Prisoner 701 Scorpion. Yes, because she is the prisoner that has the number 701. And then we have the sequel, which is called Female Prisoner Scorpion Jailhouse 41. And then we have this colorful cover, and this one is called Female Prisoner Scorpion Beast Stable. This is the 3rd installment. And then lastly, we have Female Prisoner Scorpion 701's Grudge Song. Yeah. Okay. So, in the first one, the film that introduced the iconic and unforgettable character of Scorpion to the world made the lead actress Meiko Kaiji a major star, and led to 3 direct sequels and nearly a dozen other adaptations. So, the directorial debut of Shunya Ito, whose artistic ambition far surpassed the pulpy source material, an adult comic by Toru Shinohara. The film follows Nani, a gullible but strong and beautiful young woman who falls in love with a police detective, only to be betrayed. Sent to a sadistic women's prison, Nami is forced to summon her inner strength in order to fight off the other violent inmates, as well as to survive the tortures of the cruel warden. Yes, so I will not be discussing my thoughts about these movies because we will be doing that in our upcoming reviews. Okay, then we have the sequel. Jailhouse 41 picks up the story immediately after the earlier entry and catapults heroine Nami Matsushima, aka Scorpion, from prison inmate and victim to the leader of a female rebellion, a symbol of resistance against the patriarchy. Nami is subjected to daily torture by a sadistic warden, but soon escapes again, bringing 6 other female convicts with her. And the group of fugitives flee across a blasted landscape with no clear objective in mind, incorporating theatrical lighting and devices, surreal flashbacks, and grim sexual violence. The film follows their escape as they run from both the police and prison guards, as well as ordinary men on the outside with rape and murder on their minds. Okay. And then we have the third one. The third film in the female revenge Scorpion series. Female prisoner Scorpion Beast Stable finds its heroine Nami Matsushima hiding out in the city and branded public enemy number 1. A dogged police detective corners her on a subway but loses an arm as a result. And Nami finds refuge from the Dragonette with Yuki, a down-and-out prostitute living in an incestuous relationship with her brain-damaged brother. The pair of women soon run afoul of a local gang of villains led by a sadistic, gender-bent female crime lord named Katsu, who inflicts forced abortions on the girls working for her and tortures Nami before confining her in her own private dungeon. And the final one. Grudge Song brings out a gentler side of Nami, aka Scorpion, and allows her to fall in love again, this time with Kudo, an ex-radical working in a grimy strip club, who bears both physical and psychological scars as a result of past police torture. The pair decide to take revenge on the detective chasing Nami, the same man responsible for Kudo's injuries, and get involved in a kidnapping plot that quickly goes awry, sending the lovers on the run. Captured and sent back to prison, Nami is sentenced to death and must quickly find a way not only out of her predicament, but also a means to escape once again and take revenge on yet another man who has betrayed her. Yes. So I mean, revenge is definitely the motive in all of these movies. So that was the Female Prisoner Scorpion complete collection. Very nice looking box. And I think this was the first thing when I went on the Arrow sale. I immediately knew that this was the first thing that I had to get, and I did. Let's see some comments. Johnny K, hey, hi. Implicit, that cover looks awesome. Yes, it does. Miguel, hello, hello. A Tale of Two Sisters is one of my favorites. Oh yeah, it's such a good one. I definitely need to rewatch that one, and I will include it in my next Asian horror movie theme on my YouTube channel. Okay, so the next little fancy item that I got is the Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge box set. Yeah, it is gorgeous. And I saw this one a few months ago, and I knew I had to get it. So, a year after her boyfriend Eric burns to death in a mysterious fire, Melody vows to put a traumatic past behind her. But the past isn't ready to let Melody go. When Melody and her friends get jobs at the new mall, haunting reminders and inexplicable events begin to occur. With the help of a newspaper photographer, she learns the truth about Eric and the trail of grisly murders at the mall. This is an 80s slasher movie, and I did enjoy it, and I will review this one next time I have my slasher theme in January. So here we have the edition, And we also have some postcards, which is always a nice detail. 2 discs, just blue. And I mean, it features a lot of special edition contents. So much. And it also has 3 versions of the features. So original theatrical cut, a TV cut, and bonus composite fan cut. Yeah, nice. And it also has a nice booklet. Yep, pretty thick. And also a poster. Look at this. So nice. And then we have another poster. Yeah. So I'm really happy with this edition. And I was so happy that it was on sale. Okay, let's check out some comments. Terror from the Basement. Hey, well, hi. Johnny K, I watched Bingo Hell the other day on Amazon Prime. It was pretty good. Yeah, I saw that one a while ago, so I don't really remember a lot from it. Definitely have to rewatch that one. Okay, moving on to more Arrow editions that I got. This is the Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch. I mean, the cover is amazing. It's so beautiful. I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm, really looking forward to it. So, what do you get when Noriaki Yuasa, director of Daiei Studios' much beloved Gamera series, makes a monochrome film adaptation of the works of horror manga pioneer Kazuo Umezu? The answer is 1968's The Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch. A phantasmagorical slice of twisted tokusatsu terror, ostensibly made for children that will irreparably traumatize any child that sees it. A young girl named Sayuri is reunited with her estranged family after years in an orphanage. But trouble lurks within the walls of the large family home. Her mother is an amnesiac after a car accident 6 months earlier. Her sullen sister is confined to a hidden attic room, and a young housemaid dies inexplicably of a heart attack just before Sayuri arrives. Is it all connected to her father's work studying venomous snakes? And is it the fanged serpentine figure that haunts Sayuri's dreams, the same one spying on her through holes in the wall? Sounds very interesting, so I can't wait to check this out. Ooh. Okay, so this one has a nice little booklet. Not as thick as the previous one, but you know, always a nice touch. And you can, here are like the fangs, looking good. Also looking good, yeah. And I want this. And some special edition contents include brand new commentary by film historian David Collette, This Charming Woman, a newly filmed interview with manga and folklore scholar Zach Davison, theatrical trailer, image gallery, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Mike Lee Graham. Nice. Johnny K. Arrow always do an amazing job with covers. That is true. Anthony Dole, good evening from the UK. Well, hi. Happy to have you here. Okay. Trying to be gentle. Okay. Next one is Malatesta's Carnival Blood. So I saw this one a while ago, but I have to rewatch it because I don't really remember a lot from it. But Roll up, step right up for Malatesta's Carnival of Blood, the grisliest, freakiest show in town. Virtually impossible to find until its revival on DVD in the early 2000s, this 1973 cult oddity from late director Christopher Spieth is a cinematic experience like no other. Arriving at a creepy and dilapidated fairground under the premise of looking for work, the Norris family are hoping to track down their missing son, who they believe is somewhere in the park. But it's not long before they find themselves at the mercy of the fairground's fiendish proprietors and the cannibalistic ghouls lurking in the caverns below. Nice. And it is filmed at the Willow Grove Amusement Park in Pennsylvania. Okay, nice. And it is a one disc. So Johnny, do you have an all-time favorite Asian horror movie? One that stands out from the rest? Well, I do really like Audition. I also really like one of those that I just reviewed called Dream Home. That was so gory and has a really good story. And yeah, it has a lot of weird and creative deaths, like death by a bong, death by a plank board from the bed. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's really good. So Dream Home, definitely. And as Nicole mentioned, A Tale of Two Sisters is really good as well. And of course, one that isn't strictly horror, but Battle Royale, amazing movie. I've watched that one so many times. But I do like, I think I prefer like gory Asian horror movies. I do find that the classics like, Ringu and Grudge and Dark Waters, One Missed Call, and they are alright. They are an okay watch, but I prefer the gory ones. Yeah, I do. Hell Driver is really fun. We have Machine Girl, also very fun. And yeah. Anthony Diggle, I would love to see Arrow release Day of the Dead in 4K. Okay, now deluxe box set. That would be nice. Johnny K, yeah, Battle Royale is great. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of I Saw the Devil. Oof, that is another really good one. Yeah. I will definitely include that one on my next Asian horror movie theme. There are a lot of movies that I just didn't have time for, unfortunately. Ooh, and another good one is Naked Blood. Yeah, that is also a gory one. And I'm really looking forward to rewatching it. Okay. So another one that I bought. Okay, this isn't a horror, but I want to show you all of my Arrow pickups. This is called Pickup Alley. It looks like this. Spurred on by the murder of his drug-addicted sister by ruthless crime boss Frank McNally, U.S. agent Charles Sturgis launches a transnational woman hunt for McNally's shapely associate Gina Broger. His investigation takes him on a thrill ride from New York to London, Lisbon, Rome, Naples, and finally Athens. I mean, this could be interesting. Pickup Alley. One disc. Johnny K, Naked Blood. I haven't heard of that one. Well, you should definitely watch it if you get a chance. I know it can be really hard to find and track down. I bought my copy, I think, at some film festival here in Sweden many years ago. But if you do ever find it, please watch it. Okay, the next one is a slasher movie, and it is called Trapped Alive. I've seen this one. So, Hollywood veteran Cameron Mitchell stars in this thrilling tale of escaped hoodlums and underground-dwelling cannibals from director Leszek Bożynski and Hellraiser producer Christopher Webster. On a wintry night, friends Robin and Monica are making their way to a Christmas party when they're carjacked by a gang of crooks recently escaped from the local penitentiary. With the two young women taken as hostages, things take an even darker turn when their vehicle plummets down an old abandoned mine shaft, trapping the group underground and at the mercy of a mutant with a taste for human flesh. I don't really remember a lot, but I think I remembered kind of enjoying this one. And it is a one disc. Johnny, I also watched The Tourist Trap for the first time a few days ago. I was surprised by how fun it was. A really good watch. Yeah, I agree. I recently rewatched, or not recently, but in January I rewatched it because I reviewed it. And it was better than I expected it, or better than I remembered it, because I saw it like when I was very young. But yeah, I'm happy that I rewatched it and happy to have it in my collection. Disconnected Tourist Trap is great. Yeah. I like that it pays homage to a lot of different horror movies, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we have the House of Wax. Okay, another one that isn't horror, but also a pickup from the Arrow sale. This is the Arrow Academy. It is Magnificent Doll. Haven't seen it, but I think the cover is magnificent, as the movie is called. Okay. Following her Best Actress Oscar win in 1940 for Kitty Foyle, Ginger Rogers was able to spend the next decade and beyond balancing dramatic roles with the lighter musical and comedy performances for which she had become known. The RKO films with Fred Astaire behind her, Rogers found herself in a position where she could appear in Tender Comrade, a black and white film about wives living on the home front. One year and lavish technical and musical laid in dark the next. In 1946, she was cast by Frank Borzage as one of America's most beloved first ladies, Dolly Payne Madison, in Magnificent Doll. Written by Irving Stone, whose popular biographical novels would inspire such films as Vincente Minnelli's Lust for Life and Carol Reed's The Agony and Ecstasy. Magnificent Doll traces Madison's journey to the White House from her youth in Virginia at the end of the Revolutionary War to the famed episode in which, during the Battle of Bladensburg, she refused to leave her exalted residence without a portrait of George Washington. In between, she is wooed by two great men of American politics, Senator Aaron Burr and his colleague James Madison. Sounds okay, but the cover was just magnificent. But I will give this one a watch sometime. Okay, and the final movie that I got so far is called The Comic. I haven't seen this one, but I like the colorful cover. So, stand-up comedy can be a cutthroat business, but in Sam Coke's world, it's downright murder. From the annals of bizarre cinema comes The Comic. In a dystopian police state reality of indeterminate time and place, orange, buffoon-haired comedian Sam Cokes is eager for his big break. Realizing that desperate times calls for even more desperate measures, he slits the throat of his rival Joey Myers, leaving the way clear for him to carve his own niche on the comedy circuit. But success can be a fickle and fleeting mistress, and Sam soon finds his career on a downward turn when he falls foul of the powers that be. Yes, this one sounds really interesting, so really looking forward to watching The Comic. And we have a nice booklet for this one. Yes, and one disc. Okay, so I'm still missing one movie, missing Switchblade Sisters, which hopefully will turn up this week. Yeah, too bad not everything arrived, but yeah, maybe next time. Johnny, I do like how Arrow release movies that probably would have been forgotten otherwise. Yeah, that is true. They pick up a lot of these forgotten movies or hard, like movies that used to be hard to find, and give them like a proper and good release. I really, really like that. Yeah, so let's get back to some Asian horror movies. And I mentioned Naked Blood earlier, so I can read more about it. Let's see. Naked Blood. Going on IMDb. Okay, so this one is from 1996. A scientist taints his mother's scientific experiment with his own drug that transforms pain into a pleasurable experience. Unfortunately for 3 women involved in the experiment, the drug works a little bit too well. Yeah, so in this one, they experience pain to be really pleasurable, and they go to an extreme to get that sensational feeling. So I haven't seen this one in so many years, but I remember some of the scenes are very memorable. There are a lot of gore scenes that really like stucks with you. Yeah. Anthony Diddle. Have heard some negative reviews of the comic, but I will certainly check it out. Yeah, I haven't even heard anything about the comic, if I have to be honest. But yeah, I will still definitely check it out. To me, it doesn't matter if a movie like has, let's say, 1 out of 10 on the IMDb score. I will still watch it. Yeah. Gary Hedger, have you heard that the Mutilator is getting a sequel? Yeah, I got that info a few months ago, and I had to be quiet about it. So I have known about it for a while. So yeah, I'm super happy that everyone knows now, and I can finally be like, yes, I told you, but I didn't tell anyone. But yeah, but I'm super happy. I really love the Mutilator. So yeah, looking forward to it. Johnny, ooh, I have heard of Naked Blood. I think I saw horrible reviews do a video about it years ago. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I have to rewatch it and see if it is as good as I remember it to be. Yeah. So I'm just going on to my letterbox and see what movies I have been watching, what Asian horror movies. Sign in. My computer's a bit slow, so yeah. Diary. Okay. So there we have it. Okay. So one of the movies that I reviewed, I think probably one of the last movies I reviewed last month, and it is called Bloody Reunion, actually. And it is a kind of a slasher inspired movie. Bloody Reunion. It's from 2006. So in this one we have buried grudges have disastrous consequences for a class reunion in this unapologetically bloody film from Korean director Dae Wong Lim. Yes. So I think, yeah, it is from South Korea. Yes. So kind of South Korean slasher type of movie. I think it is an okay movie. It does take a while before anything really happens. I would have loved to see that the pacing was a bit faster and that, more slashing and kills would have begun sooner. But they do have some good effects. And it was bloody in some places, but the blood could have, they could have used much more of it, in my opinion. Mikhail, Shatter is another favorite. Yes, you are correct. Shatter is a really good one. Anthony Diggle, absolutely agree with you. Try and watch all movies with an open mind and not take critics too seriously. Yeah, yeah, I mean, why would you not watch a movie just because you heard someone say negative things about the movie? I mean, if you still want to watch the movie, then go ahead. I mean, I've heard negative things about a lot of movies that I have ended up loving or really liked, and vice versa. So, I never listen to them anyway. And here, here I am talking, being a horror reviewer. So, even if I would say that a movie, in my opinion, is not good, please watch it anyway. You might really end up enjoying it. Yeah. Johnny, I never check critic scores on anything. There's a lot of movies I love that are panned critically. Yeah. It's a side podcast. I fell off on Asian horror. What are some of your favorites with new Asian horror? Okay. Let's see, new Asian horror. Mm-hmm. I will pull up a list. Asian horror movies. That would be just easier, an easier guide, so to speak. Well, I just saw this new one called Incantation. It just released on Netflix, and it's by Kevin Ko. He also made Invitation Only, which I reviewed on last month, actually. So I was really excited because I was like, oh, that's Kevin Ko. I watched that Invitation Only, and it was pretty gory and bloody in some places. So I put on Incantation, and I thought it was pretty good, but it is a bit too long, in my opinion. But it did, build up the story pretty well, and it uses a more of a realistic cinematic film approach, which I really liked. But yeah, I think it could have been a bit shorter. I think the pacing could have been a bit more tight. But overall, I did enjoy it. So if you have Incantation on your Netflix, then, check it out. So that is probably the newest one I saw. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are, not that new, unfortunately. But yeah, me and Jasmine, we checked out the new Machine Girl sequel, Machine Girl 2, which was kind of underwhelming, unfortunately. Yeah, so don't really recommend that one. But, if you're a fan of Machine Girl, the first one, which I am, then you can definitely check out the second one and, see what you think about it. I think that it just wasn't as good as the first one. And I think me and Jasmine, we talked about it in a video that I released a few months ago. But I saw someone writing something about, yes, E-Society podcast. The last new one I watched was The Sadness. I loved it. Yeah, I agree. I watched The Sadness at the Monsters of Film Festival last year, and it was amazing. The Sadness ended up being my number one movie of 2021, actually. And, if you love gory stuff, you love blood, and you love kind of a movie where people get infected by something and just go apeshit and, go crazy, then this is a movie for you, definitely. So, gonna just read more about it, because I want more people to watch The Sadness. Okay, The Sadness. A young couple trying to reunite amid a city ravaged by a plague that turns its victims into deranged, bloodthirsty sadists. And when I first saw the trailer for this movie at the festival, or before the upcoming festival, I knew that this was probably going to be my favorite movie, and that was the one movie that I recommended to people because I was also working with the festival, and I was like, if you if you're just going to see one movie this festival, you make it The Sadness, please. I promise you, it will be good. And I watched it with everyone at cinema, and I loved it. I was like, so good. I mean, the pacing is just boom, boom, boom. It's fast, it's tight. Stuff happens all the time, and there is a subway scene in that movie which is fantastic. When I was watching that scene, that is the scene that made me fall in love with the movie. Yeah. Dennis, hi Sarah, I miss you. Well, thank you, Dennis. Happy that you're here. Gary, would you marry me? Oh. E-Society podcast. A lot of people were turned off by the rape scenes. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that. Because when that happened, it just takes the movie onto a whole nother level. It's a whole new kind of dark place. I had not expected that. I just thought, it would be a pretty straight up forward gory movie without that. But when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, this is, yeah. Dennis, on last week I watched Rangzong 2021. Don't think I've seen that one. Is it good, Dennis? Johnny, is it better than the subway scene in Jacob's Ladder? I saw Jacob's Ladder when I was a teenager, probably. So I have to be honest and say I don't remember a lot from that movie. I still haven't rewatched that until this day. I saw the remake, which was not as good. But yeah, I have to rewatch it because now that you say that there's a subway scene in Jacob's Ladder that is good, I have to watch it and compare those. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this list didn't take up so many, but there was another Asian horror movie at the festival last year that was also from Taiwan, which same country The Sadness is from. And what was it called? Why can't I remember that? Because that was also really good. So mad at myself. I will see if I can figure it out. But some other good ones, we have, this is a very strange one, and it is called Uzumaki, and I also have the manga, Uzumaki. It basically means spiral, and it is very strange, but it's so captivating and good. I have to know more about it. Okay, so Uzumaki. The inhabitants of a small Japanese town become increasingly obsessed with and tormented by spirals. So these people, they see spirals in everything. It becomes like an obsession. And it's bizarre, it's beautiful, and it's just weird, but in a really good way. So, if that is your type of thing, then please watch it. You can see the cover on IMDb, and the cover is just as weird as the movie is. So it's a good representation of what you can expect the movie to be. I think I've watched Uzumaki 3 times now. Yeah, I do really like it. Okay. Oh, and another favorite of mine is also a movie by Takashi Miike, and it is Ichi the Killer. It means number one killer, basically. I just started like learning Japanese on the Duolingo app, so I don't know much. I just started it like a week ago, but at least Ichi I know it's one. So Ichi the Killer, number one killer. But we have to know more about it. I've seen Ichi the Killer a lot of times, and it's also really bizarre, very gory, and it has some very unique and memorable characters for sure. So, as sadomasochistic yakuza enforcer Kakihara searches for his missing boss, he comes across Ichi, a repressed and psychotic killer who may be able to inflict levels of pain that Kakihara has only dreamed of achieving. And this character of Kakihara, he has like scars that go like this, and when he smokes a cigarette, the smoke like comes out from his cheeks here, and it's just bizarre, but it's something you remember. Yeah. And it has a lot of crazy good and gory scenes. There's like one scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but whenever it's coming, I'm like, oh, it's coming. And if you've seen the movie, you might know which scene I'm talking about. But if you haven't seen Ichi the Killer, you need to watch Ichi the Killer. I remember they released like an edition of Ichi the Killer. It was like a blood bag. So it had the disc, and then it had like a blood bag, so you could kind of squeeze it. It was like squishy. Yeah, it was like really nice, but very expensive here in Sweden, where I used to buy my movies when I was a teenager. Johnny, yeah, rewatch the original. Mikkel, I have The Sadness on my collection, but I haven't watched it yet. Oh, please let me know when you have watched The Sadness. I'm really interested in knowing if you will like it or not. East Society Podcast. The first Korean horror film I seen was Phone. Scared the hell out of me. Yeah, I have Phone in my collection. And I remember watching it, but don't really remember a lot from it. But I will rewatch it. Then it's Nice Hands. Yeah, thank you. Nathan, hi Sarah, I can't stay long, just started work, but hope you all have a great day. Well, thank you Nathan, and thank you for dropping by. Nathan, I love Ichi the Killer. Yeah, it's so good. And Dennis, Japanese horror movies is very good. That is true. Johnny, yeah, Ichi the Killer is a very fun watch. Yeah. Robert, hi Sarah, have you seen The Call 2020 from director Lee Chung-hyun? Yes, I remember watching that when it came out, and I remember liking most of the movie, but I think the ending kind of disappointed me a bit, unfortunately. But up until then, I really liked the movie. I liked the idea, but I think also it was a bit long, if I remember it correctly. Johnny, Ichi the Killer and Tokyo Gore Police would be a good double bill. Yeah, Tokyo Gore Police! I remember reviewing that when I had my gore theme last year, yes. And Tokyo Gore Police is an amazing movie. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, in future Tokyo, a young woman in the privatized police force tracks down her father's killer while battling against mutant rebels known as engineers. And I mean, we have really special characters, and we have like mutant characters, and that looks like some look like a big giant snail that can kill you, and one has like one woman has like a crocodile chest or something that can bite and kill you. I mean, it's it's a special movie with special characters, very gory, very bloody, and it also stars the main character is played by Eiji Shina, and she is the main character in Audition. And I remember that was why I first wanted to watch Tokyo Gore Police, because I was like, wait, that's the same girl or woman. And I was like, I have to watch this, and it didn't disappoint. Yeah, so if you're a fan of movies like Machine Girl, Hell Driver, then watch Tokyo Gore Police. It is a fun watch. Something always happens. Robert, yes, I agree on the ending. E-Society podcast. I need to rewatch Ichi the Killer again. I don't remember much of it, but the guy, the cuts in his cheeks. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, even if you don't remember much from the movie, you will surely remember his cuts, and you'll remember Kikihara, Kakihara. Yes. So let's see. What else? Oh yeah, someone talked about Shatter. And Shatter is a really good one. I think it's one of the better paranormal ones, in my opinion. So we have Shatter from 2004. A young photographer and his girlfriend discover mysterious shadows in their photographs after a tragic accident. They soon learn that you cannot escape your past. I love movies where they utilize like taking pictures and the pictures turning out a bit weird, or something is like strange in the photograph and it is a continuous thing. Like I love using that detail because it can be like, oh. I remember, in Insidious they also do that, and I really like that. But in this one, I think they build up the movie and the story really well, and the kind of climax, the ending, is so good, so well executed that I was like, wow, this is good. This got me. Like I had no idea that was what this movie was about. So if you haven't seen Shutter, please do. I believe it's from Thailand. Let's see. Yeah, it's from Thailand. And there is a American remake, which in my opinion was, not up to par with the original. So if you're going to see Shutter, please watch the original. Yeah. Because if you watch the remake, then, the whole thing will be ruined, and then you will be like, why didn't I watch the original? Yeah. And Mikhail, Squid Game is also good. Yes, I love Squid Game. That was my number one TV show for last year. I mean, I play the soundtrack a lot on Spotify. When I had my Halloween party last year, we even played a game from the Squid Game TV show, and it was so much fun. And yeah, I love everything about Squid Game, the concept, the characters, the episodes, the games, the everything. So I am looking forward to the second season. I cannot wait. And I'm also on the lookout to buy some Squid Game Funko Pops. Need that for my collection, definitely. But yeah, I am obsessed with Squid Game, for sure. Yeah. I don't think my mom has seen it, so I will probably rewatch it with her. Yeah. And Mikhail, have you watched Sadako? Yeah, I've seen all of those movies. I know there are a few of those. Some were okay, some were less okay. E-Society podcast, the Ringu and Yuan films were really good. Not so much with the many sequels after the originals. Yeah, I just rewatched Ringu and also reviewed it last month. And I have to say that even though I think it's an okay movie, the atmosphere is really really good, but I don't know, something was missing. I wasn't as like wowed as I think I would have been but there are still a few amazing scenes. Like the TV scene is really, really good. It's so good. But I felt a bit cheated by the death, so to speak. There are a lot of these where people just, and then it's freeze frame, and then the white comes in. No, that's it. So I don't know. I still I enjoy watching them, but I think I expected a bit more, so to speak. But as I said, I'm also more into the Korean fun stuff, so just fun Asian horror movies. But they are a lot better than their American counterparts. Even though I think the Ring remake didn't do a bad job at all. It they are kind of they are very similar but kind of different. They focused on different aspects of things, which I liked. Johnny K, do you like the Ring and Grudge remakes? I think I prefer the Ring remake more than the Grudge remake. I've only seen the Grudge remake once when it hit the cinema. Oof, that was a while ago. So yeah, I think I prefer the Ring remake. For sure, I've seen that more times, and I remember really liking the cinematography, the all the blue kind of colors and blue scale. That was a really nice touch. Johnny, oh, never mind. Yeah, sometimes I answer questions even before anyone asks me because I'm sick. No, I'm kidding. Just waiting for some comments to pop up on my screen here instead of on my phone. East Society podcast. Is there Asian slasher films? I've only seen the supernatural and ghost story films. Yeah, as I mentioned before, Bloody Reunion is an Asian slasher movie, and I also reviewed that one last month. So if you have a chance to watch Bloody Reunion, please do. It's from 2006. The Gore Guide. Hi Sarah, joining late, so not sure what you have talked about already, but what do you think about Timo and Chiahyando remaking Train from Busan? I mean, I really like Train from Busan. I honestly I don't have like high hopes for the remake. I will of course watch it, but I have no high hopes. So I'm going in with really low expectations. To me, it seems unnecessary to remake Train from Busan like already, like so suddenly. But yeah, I will not say like it will be bad or it will be good before I actually watch it. But as I said, I'm going in with low expectations. Things usually turn out better that way. Yeah. Okay, let's see some more. I think I have to get a better list. That was too few movies. There is like an anthology type of Asian horror film that I like. It's called Three Extremes. I remember watching it a couple of times when it first came out. So it came out in 2004. So an Asian cross-cultural trilogy of horror films from accomplished indie directors. And one of them is, of course, Takashi Miike. And his segment is called Box. And then we have Fruit Chan's segment Dumplings, which is also quite known. There's also feature film Dumplings. Then we have Park Chan-wook's segment Cut. I remember liking all of these segments, and so Three Extremes is a very well accomplished anthology movie or trilogy, short film, so to speak. So if you ever get a chance to watch that one, please do. I remember, I think Dumplings is about a kind of middle-aged woman who wants to look younger, and then she finds these dumplings that kind of makes her younger, and she's like, ooh, this is awesome. But it comes with a dark secret. And then the segment cut. I don't really remember a lot from it, or Takashi Miike's segment box. I just know one of those segments featured someone being kind of tied up by a piano with piano wires, like across their fingers. So if the wire would move, so to speak, they would lose their fingers. That is like all I can remember. And the third one, I don't really remember a lot, so I will definitely rewatch that one. And it has also gotten a sequel, 3 Extremes 2, which I remember even less from. The gore guide, it's pretty unnecessary, I agree, but I think he will make a good gory version, maybe like the Sadness. That would be good, if that is the case. Miko Train to Busan is really good, but I haven't watched the sequel. Oh, the sequel is alright as well. I kind of enjoyed it. Of course, not as good as the first one, but yeah, they kind of take the concept and go even further. Yeah. East Society Podcast. For me, the American remakes just ruin it for people who have never seen the originals. That is true. That is true. I mean, if you're young, you may be, and you come across the American remakes, you might not know about the originals, which, is valid, And then if you watch those remake first, they do ruin the original, so to speak. But yeah. So I always try to do my research when I come across like American movies, and I try to find, is there an original to this one, or is this not a remake or something like that. Johnny, yep, the twist in Dumplings is very twisted. Yes, I agree. East Society Podcast, I couldn't eat dumplings after that film. Wow. I when I first saw that film, I had never eaten a dumpling, but I have now, and they are good. Dennis, what do you think of Rang Song? I have to look it up, Dennis. Let's see. Rang Song. The Medium. I haven't seen The Medium yet. I was supposed to watch it at the Stockholm Film Festival last year, but something came up on that day and I couldn't watch it. But it's on my watch list, and when I have seen The Medium, I will let you know what I think about it, for sure. Yeah. Well, let's see. 3 Extremes 2, if there's any info about those short films. Constitutes an omnibus package of 3 short films made by Asian directors. Memories, made by Kim Ji-won, is about a woman who disappears from the home she shares with her husband and children and ends up in a futuristic city filled with many disturbing hindrances to her finding her way back home. Okay. And then we have Nancy Nimi Butter's The Wheel. Contains a puppeteer who is unsuccessful in warning a dance troupe about using cursed puppets. Peter Ho-sun Chan's Coming Home stars Eric Tsang as a policeman who becomes involved with his neighbors, a married couple who are involved with some mysterious herbal medications. Okay, have to rewatch that one. I don't remember any of these stories. Let's see some more. There's actually one movie that I really want to watch that I haven't been able to watch yet, but I really want to. It's called As the Gods Will. Here we have it. It's from 2014, and it is basically, there was a huge debate that Squid Game kind of took or was really inspired by this movie. and there was a huge like thing about it. But the director of the Squid Game had to prove that he was working on his script because he was working and trying to get it made like 10 years or something before it even came out, or if it was even longer. So he had to prove that he didn't, copy this. But I want to see As the Gods Will. It's from 2014. So a group of high school students are forced to play a game of death without knowing who, why, or how. And I've seen some pictures. It looks very interesting, and I always love movies with games and death traps and things like that. So yeah, I'm just waiting for, hoping I can buy it somewhere, or yeah. Johnny K. Another one we haven't spoken about is The Men Behind the Sun. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I saw it a couple of years ago, and yeah, there are, some scenes in that one that really etches in your mind, but also there are some scenes that kind of drag down the pace. I was a bit bored at places, but overall, an alright watch for me. I think because I had been like reading up on it for so many years before watching it, preparing myself, because a lot of people were like, oh, this is the goriest, nastiest movie I've seen. I'm like, oh, okay, I want to read up on it. I want to, make sure that I'm ready. So, I think my expectations were up there, but it's still an okay watch. Yeah, for sure. The core guide. Have you seen The Wailing? Yeah, I have. That was good. The Wailing was good. Surprisingly good. Johnny, I've seen that once. Don't think I could watch it again. Yeah, there's that scene with rats always comes to mind whenever someone mentions that movie. Dennis, anybody loves Asian action movie? Yeah, some are good. Let's see The Wailing. The Wailing. Okay, The Wailing. So this is a long one. It's 2 hours and 36 minutes, but it's from 2016. So soon after a stranger arrives in a little village, a mysterious sickness starts spreading. A policeman, drawn into the incident, is forced to solve the mystery in order to save his daughter. But I remember really liking this, despite it being long. Yeah, but I do have to rewatch it. It's been a while now, 6 years. Okay, let's see some more lists, please. Oh, wow, here we have a top 150 Asian horror movie lists. Okay, let's see. If there are any I will recommend. Oh, of course, Thirst is another. It's a good vampire horror movie. And then we have Suicide Club is another good one. I mean, the opening scene to Suicide Club, just amazing. Oh, and then also I'm saving this one for the next Asian horror theme, but there's a movie called Hair Extensions, so Ekste or Ekusute, I think, and I've seen it, but I don't really remember a lot from it, but I remember really liking it. There we have it. It's from 2007. So it's about hair extensions that attack the women that wear them. So this is a movie about killer hair extensions. And it works. It really works. Looking forward to rewatching that one. It's a bizarre and fun concept, and I love these types of stories. Can people come up with more of these types of stories, please? Johnny, Grotesque is another one. Yeah, I saw Grotesque a long time ago, but that one is really, really gory. And it's about This couple, they are going, I think it's the first date, yeah, and they are then captured by this crazy doctor or whatever man that performs like experiments and tortures them during the entire movie. So it starts off with them going on a date and then just torture for the entire movie. So if gore is your thing, then you might like it. But if that is not your thing, then yeah. But it is a special movie for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about that intestine scene. Yeah. I think my friend Jasmine, she has watched Grotesque 30, 40 times, something like that. Yeah, she really, really loves that movie. But I think that I'm going to rewatch it at some point, and give it another chance. Even though I like gory movies, I felt that one really didn't have. It felt kind of pointless, or I don't know. I have to rewatch it to give you a better opinion and judgment of it. I just felt that the motive for what it was doing was kind of lacking. But I will rewatch it for sure. E-Society Podcast. Audition is an amazing film, but I thought it was more of a dramatic thriller. Yeah, I mean, it is. It is a dramatic thriller, but it does have, horror elements to it. And, I mean, Audition. Yeah. Great movie. And, the bag scene, when that happened, I was like, no way! And I was like, oh, what? Yeah. And the main character, what was her name? Anishina, something like that. The actress, she does a fantastic job. Like, I remember those words, kitty, kitty. Oof, those words are etched into my brain forever. Yeah. Oof, I've already been talking for almost 1 hour, 10 minutes. Wow, the time just flew by. Okay, I will be here for a few more minutes, winding down. So any last comments or questions? Shoot. But I always love talking to you. Our live streams are always so much fun. Johnny, I definitely say Audition is a full-on horror movie, and the drama part of the movie is just there to set up the horrific scenes later on. Yeah, that is kind of how I feel about it. I mean, the first hour definitely feels more drama-based, but as you said, it does set up for the horrific scenes later on, for sure. But I can also, understand why someone would feel that it's more on the thriller drama side, because it takes a while to get going, so to speak. But when it gets going, wow. Yeah. And that is why Takashi Miike is one of my favorite directors. Yeah. Okay, closing this one down. And this. The gore guy. There's a lot of great Hong Kong Cat 3 films, like Ebola Syndrome, Untold Story. Yeah, there is. I've seen Untold Story and Ebola Syndrome, have them, but I need to rewatch them. It's been too long ago. But as I said, there are so many interesting Asian horror movies that I will definitely do a part 2 and probably a part 3 on my YouTube channel. So I think that will be a reoccurring theme that will be like once a year, for sure. East Society Podcast, it was fun. I love listening to other horror fans. Have a good night. Peace from America. Well, have a good night, and thank you so much for dropping by. Johnny K, this has been a fun live stream. I knew a lot more about Asian horror than I thought I did. Yeah. Well, me too. I was like, oh, what will I say? And then, we had a lot of things to say, so I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. And, for this month, I am doing a shark month theme. So the next live stream will talk about shark movies. Yay! But hopefully because I usually do them every other Monday, so every 2 weeks. But now during the summer, I had to cover some extra shifts. People are going on vacation, so that might change. But I will let you know. On my YouTube channel, I always update you on whenever my live streams will be. Anthony Dougal, have you ever been to Japan? Sarah, I love the Japanese culture, and Tokyo is my favorite city in the world. I have never been to Japan. I want to go, and I might plan a trip there next year. Hopefully, we'll see. What's going on with the world. Maybe in 2 years, if. And that is why I'm learning Japanese currently, and I'm saving up for that trip and working like a lot of extra shifts. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to speak some Japanese while being there. But yeah, I really want to go. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining. This has been fantastic as always, and hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks, but I will update you. Yeah. Bye everyone.